Hello, Capricorn Souls. Welcome to your reading. I am so grateful that you are here. My name is Nikki, and I use my clairaudient and channeling abilities to help people find the magic within. If you're new here, welcome. I am so grateful to be doing this reading for you today. This week's series, I have channeled messages from Easter jokes for each zodiac sign. So last week, I did a series about ancestral healing, and some of the energies that came through were very negative and dark in nature. And this week, the energy feels more lighthearted, and Easter is on Sunday. So my intention for this video is that it brings you joy, that it inspires you, or simply that it brings you clarity if you're going through something difficult at this time. So let's see what your Easter joke is, Capricorn. Okay, Capricorn, so your Easter joke was a knock-knock joke, and the punchline was Esther who, Esther Bunny. So the channel message that's coming through right now is perhaps you know someone named Esther, or Spirit is pointing out certain memories you have about celebrations that you've had on Easter when you were a child, experiences you had with the Easter Bunny, or perhaps you have young children as well that you have funny stories about the Easter Bunny, just to share these stories with family if this is a holiday you celebrate. But just something very strong with the name Esther, and also Easter Bunny experiences is what I'm seeing. But let's get some more information from the cards. I have 4 decks of cards here, the first of which is the Keepers of Light deck. Thank you, Spirit. What additional messages do you have for my Capricorn souls? We have Dewal Cool, Dharma Unfolding. Remember that you are on a path. Take one step at a time to happiness. Next we have the Labyrinth Tarot deck. Thank you, Spirit. What else? We have the Two of Cups. Next we have the Wild Unknown Spirit Animal deck. Thank you, Spirit. What else? Ooh, this flew right out. Oh, we have 2 that flew out. We have the Bee and we have the Sea Serpent. And your final card will come from the How to Love Yourself Affirmation deck by Louise. Thank you, Spirit. What are your final messages for my Capricorn souls? Feel called to take this top card. Oops. Everything I do is a choice, so I am in control of my reality. The thoughts I choose to believe right now are forming my experiences. I now listen to what I say and do not say anything that I do not want to become true for me. Okay, Capricorn. I'm being drawn to the Two of Cups here. This is all about a very important relationship in your life. This is a soulmate friend, a soulmate relative. It could also be a soulmate on the other side, who is your actual spirit guide. Some of you I'm hearing have spirit guides named Esther. I'm seeing some of you have grandmothers named Esther, just like in the joke from the Easter joke. And this soul is bringing through very powerful messages at this time. Now, the name of this soul may not be Esther, but there is a very powerful soul connection that is bringing through information to you right now. What is coming through, Spirit? Thank you. I'm hearing I'm watching your back. I feel like this soul, for a lot of you, I feel like it's somebody on the other side, but there's also a connection in the physical where this person has your back, who watches your back, who supports you, who stands up for you. So for some of you, I see you have very powerful soulmate connections with an ancestor, also in the physical, but that means energetically your back is being watched, and in the physical world, your back is being watched. You have some very loving energies around you. What else, Spirit? Thank you. I'm hearing transition. I feel like your paradigm is shifting in a very powerful way, and there's certain energies that are kind of lingering around you. So it may be beneficial to do some cord cutting. So if you have found that you have been in a funk of some sorts, it's because there's energies around you that have been feeding off of your energy, and they have been trying to manipulate your thoughts. So that is why Spirit and this soulmate, whoever is coming through right now, is saying to remember that everything you do is a choice. You are in control of your reality. So these energies that are around you, I'm being called to tell you a story right now. I was in this funky funk as well a couple weeks ago with a lot of the energies that have been being felt in the collective, a lot of negative emotions, a lot of purging, a lot of surrendering. And I was sitting in meditation, and I smelled this very strong, like, foul smell. And I knew there was a lower dimensional energy with me. I could smell it. And as soon as I felt that, I stood up and I said, "Leave my house. You are not wanted here." And I said, "And if you have trouble seeing the door, Archangel Michael can see you out." That is how powerful we are. We can take control of that situation and tell these negative energies to leave, because sometimes those energies that we feel that we think are coming from our own thoughts, it's because they're trying to influence us in our mind to make us think that negative thoughts are the only way to make it in this world. And no, that is not the case. You are in control of your reality. You can tell these negative energies to leave, and because you're exerting your free will to do that, they have no choice but to do that. You can also just send them love and have them transmuted back to the violet flame, back to the divine. But asking them to leave, you have the power to do this. So if you have felt like you have been in this like negative thought loop, Spirit is saying you have control over your reality. Everything you do is a choice. You can ask these energies to leave, and then you can also do a cleanse of your energy and then put the energetic boundaries on for psychic protection. This is very important at this time. And on the back of this card, it says, "The thoughts I choose to believe right now are forming my experiences. I now listen to what I say and do not say anything that I do not want to become true for me. Once it leaves your mouth, you have literally cast a spell." So make sure what you are saying are things you want to be true for you. It is so, so important. So be mindful of the words you are speaking. Continue to do that work on changing negative beliefs into positive ones. This is not something that will get fixed overnight. We have to continuously work on rewiring in those new beliefs into our subconscious mind because of how deep the conditioning and programming has taken place on the planet. But as you keep doing this, it will get easier. And before you know it, your default setting will be those loving, positive thoughts. Now, that's not to say that you won't still experience challenges or a negative thought. Like, that's just a given in this life. But as you recognize it, you're training yourself to respond instead of react. And the default will be those loving thoughts in time. But it's also important to remember that this is life and we are still going to experience challenges, okay? With Dharma unfolding, Spirit is saying to remember that you are on a path. Take one step at a time to happiness. So this is a path that is unfolding. Where you are right now in this present moment is perfect for you. And this is something that has been a synchronicity that has been reiterated to me multiple times. So enjoy the journey. Enjoy every experience. But remember that you have the power with how you choose to perceive it and how you choose to respond to it. Take one step at a time to happiness. So there's also this energy of slowing down. You don't have to have it all figured out right now. So those moments where you spend in solitude or in meditation, those are the moments that are really training you to slow down. Those are the moments that are training you to observe your thoughts. And as you continue to meditate and those negative thoughts pop in there, it's almost like, okay, I'm seeing this thought, but I know that I am not this thought. And that one's been in there a while. Let's just kind of push you to the side. And what would the positive of that look like? It's becoming more mindful because when you slow down, you're able to see what those thoughts are. If we're running, because I'm being drawn to the busy bee card here. If our thoughts are running a million times a minute, like how busy a bee is, then it's more difficult to assess what those thoughts are. It's when we slow down and we observe what those thoughts are, we become more in control of our thoughts because we're understanding that we are not our thoughts. And thoughts are thoughts, and they can be changed. There's also an energy with this B card of doing a lot right now, being very busy right now. So there is a need to slow down in regards to that. So I'm picking up on very high masculine energy. Masculine, when we're dominant in our masculine energy and the feminine energy has been stifled down, masculine energy will tell you, you have to have this all figured out. you have to get this done now. It has to be perfect. And when we slow down, this allows the feminine to rise, who comes in with a more soft energy, a more resilient energy, a more loving energy, and teaches the masculine that it's okay to take one step at a time, that it doesn't all have to be figured out right now, that it doesn't all have to be perfect. So balancing your feminine and masculine energies will help to bring balance within you right now. With the sea serpent, I'm being drawn to a cycle in your life. See how the serpent is wrapped around the circle? I think this is what the sea serpent looks like. I've never actually seen one in real life, but it just reminds me of a cycle. What is the cycle here, Spirit? Thank you. I'm hearing listening. Spirit is saying to really stop and listen. There's something very powerful about silence and hearing, but also paying attention and listening to conversations that are happening around you, because everyone in our life is a reflection of us. People communicate to us all the time who we are, what we need to still heal and do the inner work on. I'll give you an example of this. When I was working at my 9 to 5, this was something Spirit was telling me to do, saying, listen to the conversations around you. This will help you break cycles. And I was like, okay. So the next day at work, I was in on a call and I heard one of the other accountants, I used to be an accountant, in the call, he said, there were 2 of them on the call, and they were talking about why they weren't able to get something done on time. And one gentleman, he said, well, this other man, he made a mistake and it made us not be able to turn the work in on time. So for a moment, I was like, okay, well, Spirit told me to pay attention to these conversations. What is this reflecting to me? And what it brought up was the fact that I had this tendency to be very critical and to point out others' mistakes without really affirming what they were doing right. And that was a shadow aspect that was pretty hard for me to look at. But in that moment when I saw that, because I had the awareness, I could then make the steps to change that behavior. And I still catch myself doing this sometimes. It's not something that you can just fix overnight, like what Spirit is saying. But the people in our lives listening to conversations, you learn a lot about yourself, because everyone in your experience is a reflection of you in some way, shape, or form. So there are cycles here that you can break just by simply listening to people around you. Also, even if you're scrolling on social media and you see certain conversations that people are having, pay attention to those. You can learn from that as well. Any final messages for my Capricorn souls? Thank you, Spirit. I'm also hearing translate. If some of you speak another language, I'm seeing there's very powerful light work that you can share in the community that you speak a certain language for. There are messages only you can bring through the language that you speak. And this is just understanding that we are one, that we are not separate. And speaking a language or translating for someone else, this also helps to raise the vibration on the planet in terms of communication. There is a very powerful cycle on the planet where people don't communicate clearly with one another. So we're working to bridge the gap in this area by learning to communicate clearly ourselves, or being that bridge for someone else to translate, or using your heritage language to communicate to people who only speak the language from that heritage. So, a lot of really powerful messages coming through, Capricorn. That is all that I am seeing. If your reading resonated, if you enjoyed it, please be sure to like, subscribe, comment down below. I'm wishing you a happy Easter and a wonderful holiday, and I will see you on the next video. Bye.